Hi, I'm Jerry Dunhu, and this is Jeff Sargent with JMT. We're here today to introduce our new 4-foot press brake. We have several models behind us to review the features and benefits of what our press brake separates from others. Here's the features on the ADR 1260 press brake from JMT, which is a 1.2 meter, 60 metric ton press brake. That is a 4-foot, 66 ton press brake. JMT's standard ADR machine comes with certain features. These are standard features to us. Sheet supports, standard to our machines. Box clamp system, X-axis back gauge, and a controller. The controller we're going to go over later with Jeff. On our new 1260 press brake, some of the features that we're adding as well is also our new arm, which allows us to bring the controller in closer to the so the operator can work with the part closer to the press brake. Still at the same amount of safety because, again, standard on our press brake, underneath these nice covers, is our laser finger protection system. This press brake is a Y1, Y2 machine as well. So we still get the ability to be able to compensate the beam. As far as our back gauge, this machine comes standard with an X-axis. We do option for the R, and you can see how well constructed that is as well. Some of the features also to be focused on is our daylight is 15.75, our stroke 6.3, and the throat depth of this machine is 13.75. Our universal box clamps offer American or European tooling, and we also offer a universal box clamp system for our 4-way die. Our parts are domestically sourceable. Let's look at our hydraulic high pressure hose coming off of our pump. This is kind of important when we don't have too many parts that are specific to JMT. JMT has made a conscious decision to work with American manufacturing companies to help them be able to source parts in the future if things are needed. You can see in the electrical box where all of our drives, power supplies, sources, straight through is all Siemens. Just to mention a few of the quality parts and equipment that goes into building a JMT press brake: Bosch, Rexroth, Siemens, Emerson. That's about it. What does the benefits of the 4-foot press brake is? Obviously, smaller parts, smaller press brake. A little unique to JMT, 66 tons. It's a little bit higher tonnage than most of our competitors. In a Y1, Y2 machine with the Delum 56S, new DT10. In our ADS series, we take it up another notch where we offer X, R, and Z back gauge. We offer the Delum 66T touch control, and that's about it.
Today I want to talk to you about the Delum DA56 on this particular machine. This is part of a family of Delum controls we offer on our press brakes. DA52, DA56, DA66, DA69T. Again, this is one of my personal favorite controls. It's got all the features to get the job done, and not really a whole lot more that you need to make the operator have confusion. A very efficient control. Just want to go over a few things with you to help you put in a program or show you some of the operational features of it. Right now I'm in the manual screen. This is where I can come in and program single bend parts, single back gauge positions, single angle positions. But this control also has the feature to do automatic mode. So right now I'm just going to go through the manual setup for you so you can get an idea how to do that. First thing, it's asking me what punch am I using. I can select from a tool library here. And right now I have 2 punches programmed in. So I'm going to select my first punch. The next thing it's asking is what bottom die are you using? Show library. Here's the library I have. Currently today we're using die number 1. Next thing it's asking us is our material. You can program custom materials like on most of our Delum controls except for some of the lesser models. Today we're going to be bending just mild steel. Next thing, thickness. How thick is the part we're bending? Is it 0.047? Is it 0.050? That's where you'd put this information in here. Today I'll just put that it's 0.040 and use my enter button. Next thing it's asking us, our length. This is our bending length in the machine. This would indicate it's 5 inches. Let's say that our part's 10 inches wide. And again, here as we're traveling down a column method, we can select air bending, bottoming, flattening, and bottoming. That's a nice feature there. Correction angle. This is one area that the Dellums differ in other controls. I'm able to type in a correction after I bent my part. If my part didn't come out at a 90, I can just simply come up here, and if I was 3 degrees off, 4 degrees off, negative or positive direction, I just simply put what I was off. This is my target angle. This is what I'm shooting for. If I wanted a 45-degree bend, some people consider a 45 to be less than 90. In a Dellum, it's actually considered a 135. That would be your 45-degree bend. It's just something with the Dellums that sometimes people need to be aware of. Nice thing about the Dellum is I'm inputting this information in here. It's auto-calculating my target position. I don't have to figure that. It's already done. Along with the mute as well. The mute's auto-calculated off of the tooling and the material thickness you're using. You don't have to adjust that. It auto-calculates. Along with decompression and force. Now, decompression and decompression speed, these are some nice features that I really like about the 56. If I have a really long piece of material sticking out of the side of the machine, and I don't want to drop that down really fast, I can actually have the machine set that part down very delicately so I'm not smashing people. A lot of control. Fewer operators to make the machine run. You don't have a shop full of people trying to hold a piece of material up as you let it out of the brake. You can do it with the brake itself. Force again, force here. This is the calculated force to bend your part, auto-calculated. But I have the option to increase the force if I feel I need to, or decrease it. Next thing it's asking us here is, what is my flange position, or my x-axis position? Right now it's programmed at 1 inch. If I want a 5-inch line, I just simply type in 5 and enter. Retract's another nice feature. If I have a negative flange in the machine, and as I'm bending, as that flange comes up and in a normal operation without a retract, it would strike the back gauge fingers. I program a retract. The back gauge is going to get out of the way once the beam comes down and touches the part. It's going to get out of the way so it doesn't actually contact the back gauge and damage it. R-axis. This machine's equipped with an R-axis. R is a really handy feature. You really want to consider it when purchasing a press brake and really know what you're bending. And if R will fit for you, trust me, it's a great feature to have. I can go negative or positive with my R, which is the up and down of the back gauge. Negative would be lower, R would be, or positive would be above the top of the tool. Opening. This allows me to adjust where the beam returns to after I've pressed my part. I can control it to have a very low opening if I want to do many parts as quick as I can, or I can have it have a large opening or max opening so that I can get my part out of the machine without really fighting the machine much. I also have control of my pressing speed, just like what I was talking about earlier with decompression. I can also press the part really slow, so I'm not launching my operators. Very controllable, very controllable. Decompression speed, again, that's related with decompression. Hold time. Some materials have a lot of spring back to them, and hold time can help your accuracy a little bit, and that's adjustable up to 9 seconds, 9.9 seconds on this particular 56. Parallelism. This is a Y1, Y2 machine like many of our JMT press brakes. Again, that is such a great feature. I can actually program one side of the beam to travel just a little bit further than the other, or less, if I'm needing to make corrections either to my part or if my part requires that one side have a different degree angle bend to it. Again, this is the manual page, and real briefly I just want to cover the automatic page so you guys can get an idea of what's involved there. This is my manual button, this is my auto button. I'm sorry, this is my auto button, this is my index button. So, let's do a new program. Let's call this product 102. Because we did 101 last time, we got to be different. Drawing number. Again, this is helping you search your library of parts you've bent. Let's say that it's drawing number 20. Wants to know the thickness of your material you're bending. Let's say it's 0.1. The material type, still. Length, again, the bending width in the machine. Say it's 20 inches. Dimensions, I have the option for inner or outer dimensions. I need to decide which I'm using at this point. This is very important because I can't jump back and forth. So let's go outer. Here's my drawing page. Reminds me of an Etch-a-Sketch. I don't know why. This line segment can be any line segment on your part. So I'm going to give this a line segment length of 6 inches. The arrow pad's very handy because I have 45-degree options without having to type in the angle. I have 90-degree options. So it's very handy. I also have the option to come in and manually go back and adjust my angle, like with all our Delum controls. So, minus the 52, which you can't do this in. I also have the option here for bumping. This is a great feature. That's one of the reasons I love this control. I hit bumping here. If I want a radius bend, a bumping bend here, I simply put in my radius I'm achieving. How many times I want to hit that part. Let's say we want to hit it 3 times. It's going to tell me the maximum V opening for production of this radius is a 0.702 V die. That is great information right there. I know whether or not my part is going to slip into the V die. So that's great. And I've got a bump bend now, but let's get rid of that and keep on going for you guys. Okay, from here I'm just going to go to bend sequence. It's going to prompt me to give a tool assignment for it. Right now I'm going to find a die for it. Let's find show library and use die 2. Now it wants to know the punch. Let's use punch 1. 2D profile of my machine. Here's my upper punch, here's my die, here's my back gauge. Here's our part. I need to completely unbend this part so the computer can store it. So I hit unbend, unbend. Okay, once I've done that, it comes up with the bend sequence. This is a single bend part. If you had multiple bends, you'd see it unbend. So this is the unbent state, this is the bent state. I have the ability, if this part had a longer flange, to position, because this machine has an R-axis, the finger to be lower to catch the part and actually have it right here. So it's easier to handle. I don't have a really long part into the machine falling down below the fingers. I can actually have the finger catch the part and right against that step there. I'm going to hit store. And it's calculated my blank length for me. With the stretch out and everything, this is actually going to be the length of my part. So this can be very handy when you've got drawings from upstairs coming down to you and they're calculating the blank length here and your parts aren't coming out right. This can really help you guys dial in your parts. So I'm going to hit store. Okay, I'm going to hit end. And again, this is a really quick, brief run through. I'm going to go to product selection. There's our product right there. It's in a green box, means it's okay. If it was in red on a Delum, it'd indicate that we got some problems in that part that we need to look at. Drawing number 20, number of bends 1, type 2D part. It's not connected to another program. Punch die combination and the date it was made. Then from there, I'm going to simply select it and cruise over to auto mode right here. Oops, sorry, I got to end out. Then auto mode. A nice thing, like the 66 and the 69, just not in a 3D graphical format. I do have a 2D image I can view of the part. 1 second, so I can actually see how to orient the part in the machine. And zoom in, zoom out with the arrow keys. If this was a complicated part, this would be more handy. Single bend part, it's not so useful for us. Okay, this is my automatic page, and this is where I'd be making corrections down here in this lower column. This is the bend we're on, bend 1 of 1. If I had multiple bends, you'd see bend 1 of 2 or bend 1 of 3. Correction angle 1, correction angle 2. Again, when I was talking earlier that these machines feature a Y1, Y2 axis type beam, I can actually program a degree change from one side to the other. If I simply type in a -2 degree correction here, it's going to maintain that across the board to keep everything parallel. But I can edit it if I'd like. Right now I'd have a 1 degree change from core A and core A2, Y1, Y2. Put that back to -2. Nice thing about this is this would be a correction for one bend. This over here would be a correction for all bends. So if all 4 of my bends needed a 2 degree correction, I would put it here. Global correction angle 2 degrees. Every bend I had would receive that 2 degree correction. Over here, if I put it in, it's only per bend. So bend number 1 would receive a 2 degree correction. Just bear in mind that they do compound. So if you have a global correction of -2 over here, and you come back to bend number 1 or bend number whatever it might be and have it at 1 degree correction, that's going to be compounded off of what your global is. So it might be -3, just depends on your situation. I also have a correction here for the x-axis position, as well as a global correction. So if all my bends, I'm finding my flange length is 10 thousandths, 15 thousandths, 2 thousandths of an inch off, I can type those corrections in here for the back cage to make that correction for us. That pretty much sums it up. Another one of the controls we offer, this is the newest family. This is the DT10 control. Some of the advantage of this control, very similar to 52 in ease of setup right off the bat. If you've got some inexperienced operators, you want the minimum amount of buttons to push to get into production, this is your control. Very basic. I'm going to go through really quickly just some of the screens so you guys can get an idea of what this control is about. This is your home screen. If I want to draw in a product really fast, I'm just going to go through that. I'm going to hit product, new, give it a number, name, material type, punch and die combo. That's going to be in my library here. Nice thing about this control is I have a two-dimensional feature that the Delum 52 does not have. There's my punches. I'm going to select that one. Die. Select. And again, die. Here's my library. I can see what the profile is on my punches. Okay. Materials, like our other controls, I've got optional materials, user-defined materials. Go with mild steel. Thickness, 0.1. Enter. Length, 20 inches. Whoops. And again, the length is the bending length in the machine. Better give it a product number. I got a drawing option on this control that's very nice. Assign it a length. Got a touch screen. Very nice on the DT10. There's my part drawn in. Ready to rock and roll. Take us back to our home screen. And again, this is really a brief run through. Here's where I'd find my tools if I wanted to edit and add tools to it. Go to punch. And again, I have three in program now. I can look at them and see what I've got. Easy for the user to identify what tool he's using. Let's check out our bottom dies. Here they are. There's the profile of them. There's the description, the height of the tool, the angle of the tool, what V opening do I have, what radiuses are on my tool, when was it put in. And drawing in tooling is just like drawing in our part. Very intuitive, easy to understand. This is a great control for your new operators if you want to get up and running fast. Thanks for your time.